So that is the fair green? Cattle and sheep and mud? No system? What a repulsive sight!
That is so indeed.
I suppose there is a good deal of disorder in this place.
There is.
Common assault?
It's common enough.
Agrarian crime, no doubt.
That is so.
Boycotting? Maiming of cattle? Firing into houses?
There was one time. There might be again.
That is bad. Does it get any worse than that?
Far enough indeed.
Homicide then! This district has been shamefully neglected. I will change all that. When I was in the Andaman Islands, my system never failed. Yes. Yes. I will change all that. What has that woman at her stall?
Apples mostly, and sweets.
Just see if there are any unlicensed goods underneath. Spirits or the like. We had evasions of salt tax in the Andaman Islands.
I see no spirits here. Or salt.
Do you know this town well, my good woman?
A penny the half dozen, Your Honor.
The gentleman is asking you, do you know that town? He is the new magistrate.
Do I know the town? I do, to be sure.
What is its chief business?
Business, is it? What business would the people here have? But to be minding one another business.
I mean, what trade they do?
Not a trade. No trade at all. But to be talking.
I shall learn nothing here. The smoke from that man's pipe had a greenish look. He might be growing unlicensed tobacco at home. I must have got my telescope to this district. Come to the post office. I'll telegraph for it. I found it very useful in the Andaman Islands.
Bad luck to Joe Malden. Knocking my apples this way and that way. Showing off he was to the new magistrate.
Indeed, it's a poor country and a scarce country to be living in. But I was thinking, if I went to America, it will be long ago the day I'd be dead.
So you might, indeed.
And it's a great expense for a poor man to be buried in America.
Never fear, Bartley fellow, but I will give you a good burying the day you will die.
Maybe it's yourself who'll be buried in the graveyard of Clune Mara before me, Mary Fallon. And I will be dying some night, and no one are near me.
Leave off talking of time. It might be 20 years you'll be living yet.
If I'm living at the end of 20 years, it will be a very old man I'll be then.
Good morrow, Bartley Fallon. Good morrow, Mrs. Fallon. Well, Bartley, you will find no cause of complaining today. They are all saying it was a good fair.
It was not a good fair, Mrs. Carpet. It was a scattered sort of affair. If we didn't expect more, we got less. That's the way with me always. Whatever I sell goes down. Whatever I buy goes up. It is what I always say. If there is any misfortune coming to this place, it is upon myself it pitches.
Leave off talking of misfortunes and listen to Jack Smith, who's coming the way, and he's singing.
I thought my first love had been but one house between you and me. And I thought I would find yourself coaxing my child on your knee. Over the tide I would leap with the leap of a swan until I came to the side of the wife of the red-haired man.
That should be a good song if I had my hearing.
It's the red-haired man's wife.
I know it well. That's the song that has a skin on it.
Where's herself, Jack Smith?
is delayed with the washing. Bleaching the clothes on the head she is. She didn't leave them. With all the tinkers that do be passing by to the fair. It isn't a fair, but I myself came up to the 5-acre meadow, where I have a contract for the hay. And we get a share of it into the trams today.
You will not get into the trams today. There will be rain upon it by the evening. And on myself too. It's seldom I ever started on a journey. But the rain would come down upon myself. Even before I'd find any place of shelter.
If it didn't itself, Bartley, it is my belief that you would carry a leaky pail on your head instead of a hat. And that you would not be the same without some cause of complaining.
Go on. Now. Go out of that.
Look at that.
What did I say?
Look at that young mare of fat trans who's backing into Chauvelin's bullock with a dint of a crowd. Don't be daunted, Pat. I'll give you a hand with her.
It's time for ourselves to be going home. I have all I bought. Put in the basket. Look at that. Jack Smith's hay fork he left after him. He'll be wanting it. Jack Smith! Jack Smith! Hurry after him, Bartley. He'll be wanting it.
I'll do that. This is no safe place to be leaving it. Oh, look at that now. If there's any basket in the fair upset, it's our own basket.
Get out of that. It is your own fault. It is. Talk of misfortunes and misfortunes will come. Glory be. Look at my new egg cups, rolling in every part, and my 2-pound sugar with the paper broke.
God help us! Mrs. Fallon, what happened to your basket?
It's himself that knocked it down. Bad manners to him.
Please, Bartley Fallon, Mrs. Fallon. I want a word with him before he leave the fair. I was afraid he might have gone home by this, for he's a temperate man.
I wish he did go home. It did be best for me if he went home straight from the fair green, or if he never came with me at all. Where is he? Is it? He's gone up the road, following Jack Smith with a hay fork.
Following Jack Smith with a hay fork? Did ever anyone hear the like of that? Did you hear the news, Mrs. Turpin?
I heard no news at all.
Listen, Sean Early. Listen, Mrs. Dooley, to the news. Jack Smith and Bartley Fallon had a falling out, and Jack knocked Mrs. Fallon's basket into the road, and Bartley attacked him with the hay fork, and away with Jack, and Bartley after him. Look at the sugar here, yet on the roads.
Do you tell me so? Well, that's a weird thing. Bartley Fallon? So quite a man?
I wouldn't wonder at all. I would never think well of a man with that sort of mouldering look. It's likely he has overtaken Jack by this.
That was a great news Mrs. Sharpe was telling me. I suppose that's what brought the policeman and magistrate up this way. I was wondering to see them in a while ago.
The police after that? Bartley Fallon must have injured Jack so they wouldn't battle into a fight. That was only for show.
Why wouldn't he injure him? There were many a man killed with no more of a weapon than a hay fork.
Wait till I run north as far as Kelly's bar to spread the news.
I'll go tell Jack Smith's first cousin that is standing there south of the church after selling his lambs.
And I'll be telling a few neighbors I'll see beyond to the west.
I will give word of it beyond on the east of the green.
Stop a minute, Sean Early, and tell me, did you see Red Jack Smith's wife, Kitty Carey, in any place?
I did, at her own house. She was drying clothes on the hedge as I passed,
What did you say she was doing?
laying out the sheet on the hedge.
Laying out a sheet for the dead? The Lord have mercy on us. Jack Smith dead? And his wife laying out for his burying? Why didn't you tell me that before, Sean Early? Isn't that the deafness? The great hardship? Half the world might be dead without knowing me at all. Oh, my poor Jack Smith, going to his work, so nice, so hearty, and to be left stretched on the ground on the full light of the day.
What is it, Mrs. Tope? What
Oh.
happened since?
Oh, the poor Jack Smith.
Did Bartley overtake him?
Oh, the poor man,
Is it kill his?
stretched in the 5-acre meadow.
The Lord have mercy on us. Is that a fact?
Without the rights of the church or a haphazard,
Who was telling you?
and his wife laying out for the sheet for his corpse, and myself being the last person he was talking to.
There's a great talk about his work in every quarter of the fair.
Oh, cold, cold and dead. I suppose they'll wake him up the same as another.
Lord help us. Is it dead he is?
Dead surely. And the wife getting provision for the wake.
Well now, hadn't Bartley Fallon great venom in him?
You may be sure he had some cause. Why would he make an end of it if he had not? What was it that rose the dispute at all, Mrs. Carpane?
Not a one of me knows. The last I saw them, Jack Smith was standing there and Bartley Fallon was standing there. And he was listening to the red headsman's wife.
She must have followed him from her own house. It is likely some person roused him.
I never knew before. Bartley Fallon was great with Jack Smith's wife.
How would you know it? Surely, it's not in the streets they would be calling it. If Mrs. Fallon didn't know of it, and if I, who live next to them, didn't know of it, and if Jack Smith himself didn't know of it, it's not likely you would know it, Tim Casey.
Let Bartley Fallon take a charge of her from this time out so and provide him. It is little pity she will get from any person in this parish.
How can he take a charge of her? Sure, he has a wife of his own. Sure, you don't think he had done shopper and marry her in a Protestant church?
It would be easy for him to marry her if he brought her to America.
With or without Kitty Gary? Believe me, it's for America. He is making at this minute.
It's likely Kitty Carey has gone with him, and not minding the sheet or wake at all. The poor man, to be deserted by his own wife, and the breath hardly gone out yet from his body that is lying bloody in the field.
What is it? The whole of the town is talking about? And what is it? You yourselves are talking about. It is about my man Bartley Fallon you are talking. It is lies about him you are telling. Saying he went killing Jack Smith? My grief! He ever came into this place at all.
Be easy now, Miss Fallon. Sure, there is no one in this whole fair but is sorry for you.
Sorry for me? Is it? Why would anyone be sorry for me? Let you be sorry for yourselves, for the lies you are telling and the words you are saying, to take away the character of my good man and to drive him to destruction. That is what you are doing.
Take comfort, Mrs. Fallon. The police are not so smart as they think so. Sure, he might give them the slip yet. The same as Lynchy Horn.
And if they do get him, and do put a rope around his neck, there is no one can say he does not deserve it.
Did anyone see Bartley Fallon?
It is hard for her to believe any such a thing. God help her.
It is what I often say to myself. If there is ever any misfortune coming into this place, it is on myself it falls.
I knew this affair was in a bad state, but I did not expect to be confronted with a murder at the first where I came to.
I'm sure you did not.
It was well I had not gone home. I heard a few words here and there that roused my suspicions.
So they would too.
You heard the same story from everyone you asked?
The same story? Or it was not altogether the same. Anyway, it was no less than the first story.
What is that man doing? He is sitting alone with a hayfork? The murder was done with a hayfork. He has a guilty look.
That's the very man they say did the act. Bartley Fellon himself.
He must have found escape difficult. And now he's trying to brazen it out. Stand aside. Don't go far. Keep the handcuffs ready. Here, my man. Do you know anything of John Smith?
Of John Smith? Who is he now? Jack Smith, sir. Red Jack Smith.
Where is Jack Smith?
Where is he indeed?
What have you to tell?
Well, it is where he was this morning. Standing at that corner, singing his share of songs, lighting his pipe, scraping a match against the sole of his shoe.
I ask you for a third time. Where is he?
I would like to say that it's a great mystery. It's hard to tell of any man whether has he earned hatred or love.
Tell me all you know.
All that I know? Well, there are the 3 escapes. There's a limbo, there's a purgatory, there's a...
Nonsense! This is trifling.
Maybe you don't...
Point.
Maybe you don't hold with the clergy so. That is the teaching of the clergy. Maybe you hold with the old people. It is what they do be saying. That the shadow is wandering. The soul is tired. The body is taking a rest. The shadow. The shadow. I was nearly sure I saw Jack Smith not 10 minutes ago at that corner of the forge. And I lost him again. Was it his ghost I saw, do you think?
Conscience struck. He will confess all now.
His ghost? To come before me? It is likely it was on account of the fog. I to have it, and he to have no way to defend himself at the time he met with his death.
I must note down his words. Let me warn you. Your words are being noted.
If I had a run faster in the beginning, this terror would not be down upon me in the later end.
At the day of judgment.
It was too soon for his ghost to appear to me. Is it coming before me always in the daytime? It will be. And stripping the clothes off in the night time. There is no wonder at all in that. Being as I am, an unfortunate man.
Tell me this truly. What was the motive of this crime?
The motive? Is it?
Yes, the motive, the cause.
I'd sooner not say that.
You'd better tell me truly.
Money was not the motive. What did poor Jack Smith ever have in his pocket? Unless it was his hands in them.
Any disputes about land?
No. He was not a grabber. Or nor did he grab from anyone.
It would be better if you tell me at once.
I? To tell you? I wouldn't for the whole world to wish to say what it was. It is a thing I would not like to be talking about.
There is no use in hiding it. It will be discovered in the end.
Well, I suppose it will be, seeing that mostly everybody knows it before me. Whisper here now. I will tell no lie. What would be the use?
Policeman, put the handcuffs on this man. I knew he would confess if taken the right way.
Handcuffs now? Glory be. It is what I often say to myself. If there is ever any misfortune, it is on myself to come. I? To be in handcuffs? There is no wonder at all in that.
Telling lies. Telling lies the whole of the people of this town are. Telling lies as fast as a dog will trot. Speaking against my poor respectable man. Saying he made an What in the earthly world do I see before me? Bartley Fellon, in charge of the police, handcuffs on him. Oh, Bartley, Bartley, what did you do? At all, at all.
Oh, Mary, there has come a great misfortune upon me.
What did he do? At all.
This man has been arrested for a charge of murder.
Whose charge is that? Don't believe them. They are liars in this place. Give me back my man.
It is fair that you should take his part, but you have no cause of complaint against your neighbors. He has been arrested for the murder of John Smith on his own confession.
The saints of heaven protect us. And what did he want killing Jack Smith?
It is best that you should know all. He did it on account of a love affair with the murdered man's wife.
With Jack Smith's wife? With Kitty Carey? Oh, the traitor!
A great shame indeed. He's a traitor indeed.
To America he was taking her, Mrs. Fallon.
What are you saying, Mary? I tell you.
Don't say a word. I won't listen to any word you will say. Isn't he the treacherous villain? Oh, Cordio!
Be quiet till I tell you. Listen to what I have to say.
Sitting beside me on the ass car coming to the town? So quiet, so respectable, and treasury like that in your heart?
Is it your wits you have lost? Or is it I myself that have lost my wits?
And it's hard I earned you. Slaving, and you grumbling, and sighing, and coughing, and discontented, and the priest wore out anointing you with all the times you threatened to die.
Let you be quiet!
You two bring such a disgrace into the parish, a thing that was never heard of before.
Will you shut your mouth and hear me speaking now?
And had it been for any sort of a fine, handsome woman, but for a little fistful of a woman like Kitty Carey, who's not 4 feet high hardly, and not 3 teeth in her head, unless she got new ones. May God reward you, Bartley Fellon, for the black treachery in your heart, and the wickedness in your mind, and the red blood of poor Jack Smith that is wet upon your hand.
The sea shall be dry, the earth under morning and band. The loud shall he cry for the wife of the red-haired man.
It's Jack Smith's voice. I never knew ghosts could sing before. It's after myself and the fog he's coming. Let one of you give him the fog, and I will be free of him, for now and for eternity.
The Lord have mercy on us. Red Jack Smith